final minute of the show, I think if you make the Voice finale, that's a win. And so, like, I was less nervous tonight than I was before, but my kids were freaking out. So I felt like I went into, like, dad mode where I was like, y'all just chill out. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good, you know? So it was really hard to even focus on being nervous, which was good for me, I guess. But then immediately when my name was called, I don't know, just the whole room erupted, and I don't remember a lot. I blacked out for a second. So I don't know. Everything's great.
Well, I think Todd is every bit as talented as the other four that were in the finale. I think the thing that may have put him over the top is his relatability. I mean, this guy is literally someone that we all feel like lives down the street from us, or at least we hope. And he's somebody that I think everybody hopes they can meet one day, you know, and you can't say that about everybody that you see on television or hear on the radio. But when you really start to buy into the person that you're seeing on TV, plus they happen to be, you know, have the world-class talent that Todd has. I mean, it was just an unstoppable combination. And I'd like to add one that I think we started seeing early on, you know, because, you know, behind the scenes and even, you know, in front of the camera, there was a lot of talk about Todd. There was always constant talk about Todd, and people just knew there was something special about the guy. So I got to say, I'm not surprised to be sitting here having this press conference with him as the winner of The Voice, because there's just something about him. I just felt like in the blind auditions that I had an ace in the hole the second he chose me as his coach. I got to say that you know, as a coach on The Voice, to help the winner be on here, you know, those type of things end up coming from touring or something like that. One of the frustrating things for me as a coach on this show year after year is, you know, they win this record deal with Universal, and so many times the ball's been dropped and there hasn't been a lot of follow through with the record deal. And I don't care. I've been vocal about that from the beginning, because it's a hard pill to swallow when somebody works as hard as Todd has and they get this chance and there's just no follow through with the record deal. So I still feel like that's something that has got to be improved on and worked on, because here's a guy that clearly America has connected with. They love him. They bought his original song and went to #1 on iTunes last night. I mean, he's clearly an artist that moves the dial. Let's get together. Let's get a plan together. As his coach, whatever I can do to contribute to the record label to make all of this stuff come together. It's clearly something that's ready to work, and it's been handed to the label. Now let's see what they do. And as far as what I can do, you know, I wish I had a record label that I could sign Todd to, because I know that I would make him a priority. And that's what I think Universal Records has got to do. I mean, there's no more excuses. It's time. It's time for those guys to follow up and make this happen. It's a lot of eyes are on them at this point, I would think. And I want to support them in that in any way I can. But, you know, as far as a plan to, you know, you got to follow a record company's lead. They have to lead this charge. They have to do it, and the rest of us can be a support team around somebody like Todd. And I don't mean to take it that serious all of a sudden, but Todd's important. He's important to me. He's important to NBC. He's important to the Voice, and he's important to these millions of people that just watched him on The Voice week after week, and they believe in him, and they voted for him, and they bought his music. Why can't we make this work this time? There's no reason for it not to, and it has to start with the record label. Well, you know, Todd, this is the only way Todd. Actually, that's not true. Todd has gotten to experience, you know, both sides of this. He was at the show. He was at the studio. He had the audience. he got to feel what it's like to be on The Voice that way, and then he had to feel what it's like to do it this way. And of course, as performers, we always want to be in front of a live audience, I think. But I think it shows the strength of all of these artists actually to make a connection this way, because this is hard. It's even hard to make comments and stuff. It's just you have to kind of relearn how to exist in live television when you're doing it from your house. I don't know. Todd probably has a lot of thoughts on it too, but it's been crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, first of all, like, I think all 20 of us in the top 20 were, like, of course, like, disappointed that we weren't going to get this experience that we had sort of really, like, kind of built our lives around for a little while, But for me, like, first of all, over time, you just get accustomed to it. That's how life works. You adjust, And so we did that. But then whenever we did Love Me and I saw that back, I'm like, this is why I'm at home for this. This is why, And so I've told everybody when they ask the pros and cons, like, I think even though it got a little hectic and stressful sometimes, it's kind of neat that we got to learn how to use this equipment and even where to put the lights and things like that. So the pro is really that my family is here with me. And the con is that my family is here with me. And so, but it really has been a remarkable. It does seem, even from being out in LA, and I've talked to Blake several times, just at the battles and the knockouts and the blind audition, it still seems way more personal this way. And we're miles and miles apart, but it just seems way more personal. I guess it's just, there's not so many people, The first thing I'm going to have to figure out, and I'm not sure how I'm going to figure it out because the world is shut down, is my wife, without my permission, promised my kids we would go to Disney World if I won. So I don't know. We'll figure that out. Everybody's like, Dad said if we were going to Disney World. I'm like, Dad did not say that. Mama said that, But, what I really want to do, and I don't really know, this is all brand new to me, but I think that's good, though. I think if I come into it understanding that I don't really have a great understanding, then I can find people, and I have, even in these weeks that I've been on The Voice. Blake Shelton is one of them, but then other people, I can find people that are part of this industry that are connected but also gifted and talented, and I can sort of glean from them, like what, that was the number one thing when I think I even said either in my battle or knockout, like, I need you guys to help me about genre. And now that I'm here at the end, I feel way more confident about which direction, to go in. So I'm just going to continue to, like, glean from them and learn from them. And I've got several songs that I've worked on, and the song that Songland did, Ryan Ennis and Songland, that song, I hope to find a way to, I don't really know how to get it outside of iTunes, but we'll figure it out. But just to go for it. That's my plan, man. I'm putting all the chips on the table.
Blake, is this the beginning of your rivalry with Nick Jonas, or because your vibe feels like the same vibe with what you had with you and Adam?
The difference with Nick and Adam is, Adam was here for the first season. So I built a strong, what was it? 16 seasons worth of a grudge against Adam, to where, there was nothing, it became a part of my existence to beat him. Now with Nick, I don't want to feel like I'm just picking on a kid, coming into the show, and sadly for Nick, to have Todd Tilghman, agree to let me be his coach, and then come in and it's like, you ever seen that show, that movie Over the Top?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so Sylvester Stallone, he's already strong, but then he has that move where he does that weird thing, and then that's what Todd was like coming on my team, was that extra little move on Nick, and I slammed him down.
That's right. I couldn't agree with you more. That was the perfect analogy.
For me, it's a lot easier with an artist like Todd for the mentorship to continue versus, you know, an artist that I've had win in the past that you know, their genre is so far out of my lane that, you know, the coaching helped them win the show, but the path after that is a little bit out of my hands, or a little bit out of my league, because, you know, with someone like Dia Frampton, who, for instance, or Jermaine Paul, or even you know, Chloe a few years back, it's just when they're completely out of my lane, it doesn't really affect what happens on the show, but afterwards, you know, it's mostly about touring or helping them find a place to do concerts and stuff. That's really the lane that I can help them in. And so with someone like Todd, who is more in my lane, you know, he's a country guy. He can do all kinds of music. I think in his heart, I don't want to speak for you, Todd, but it feels like he kind of expresses himself a little bit more as a maybe a contemporary pop country type artist, you know, and that's right in my lane. And then that's somebody that I can get involved with, and that's all up to Todd. You know, I've had artists that I've worked with in the past that have called me and said, hey, you know, think you could help me find a producer, and I suggest somebody, and they go, oh, no, that's not what I was thinking at all. That's happened several times. And so it's really up to Todd, you know, as how much he wants me to be involved with what he does. Of course, I'm going to be there to help him in any way that I can. And there's always going to be limits to that, but I hope, Todd, that you use me as much as I can be used, because that's what I'm here for. You know, it's not,
Oh yeah.
I always tell people that audition for the show that I'm trying to get on my team and then follow through with, look, if there's something that I can move the dial with for you, I'll do it, because I never had that person in my life, you know, early on that did those things for me. And I know how much that stuff means. And somebody like Todd, now he's had this launching pad, and we all have to gather around and keep it going and be sure that Todd gets the opportunity after winning the show that he deserves, which is to go on and whatever lane he decides to go in, whether it's gospel, Christian, country, whatever he wants to do, that path is cleared for him, and people really get a chance to hear his music. Because at the end of the day, all you can really do is help somebody get the opportunity for a lot of people to hear their music, and then the music has to stand on its own.
I know that we haven't spent a whole lot of time together, like in the flesh, but like I really do feel like we're friends, and that I feel like makes the biggest difference in things like this. I feel like like I've made a friend in Blake, and hopefully he feels like he's made a friend in me, and I think that would be the most important thing to move from, you know.
I think our partnership between Todd's energy and my lack of energy together, we make one normal human being, which makes her a perfect combination of two dudes. And honestly, I can't wait to be in the same room with Todd and hang out with him. And I want to perform with him on stage. Like, I want to get past whatever, whatever we got to do here to get past this pandemic and get back to normal life and get on stage with this guy, because he truly is a rush to be around, and I want to sing with this guy. That's what I'm looking forward to. I know we did it on the show and we did it this way, but we got to do it the right way. Don't you think, Todd?
Oh yeah. Oh man, look, the minute they tell us we can, I am ready to go. I got the car gassed up right now. Well, the van, the minivan.
The van, that's right.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.